Hello and welcome to another episode of The Conversation. Today we are going to focus on international trade, especially on Hong Kong, as well as commodity market, or we can say fresh produce, and how this import market and export works around. So we have an expert who have actually been in the market or in the industry for some times, and he have led delegations of London Chamber of Commerce to various countries, and also he is part of Tamil Chamber of Commerce. Mr. Jagadiswaran, welcome to the show.
Hello, welcome.
So just to understand more about that, you're originally from Jaffna, you're a Tamil from Sri Lanka, and then you moved into the UK, or initially you went to Hong Kong and you set up your business there for 6-7 years, and then you moved on to Hong Kong, so into London or in the UK. So how life is in Hong Kong? Let's start about business and life in Hong Kong.
Hong Kong is a very busy place. It's a very good opportunity for business people. It's 98% of the business are service sectors, and it is, if we categorize shipping, banking, and documentation, and tourism.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Hong Kong is second largest stock market in Asia, as well as in sixth in the world. The whole world, in the globe. Also, the UK export to Hong Kong was almost 5 billion.
So what actually made you interested about Hong Kong? So this was your first endeavor as a youngster. You went from after your school times, or is it like, did you do your formal education in back home, or what
yes,
was
I did my +2 in India, which is in government higher secondary school.
Yeah.
Afterward, as you know, there are problem back home and ethnic conflict and so on. We were looking for exit passage. There, where I have an opportunity to go to Hong Kong to study in Polytechnic, where I applied for. Then, for some reason, I get into a business through my friends.
So how easy is to set up a business? Because when you actually go as a tourist, how easy in Hong Kong to set up a business?
It is very simple. That there are the policies for business entrepreneurs was very good, and especially there is one called Trade Development Council.
Mm-hmm.
They will give enough advice for beginners, as well as foreign investors. If you go there, they will have a proper direction. Mm-hmm. To the right companies, mainly with secretarial work, as well as business centers, mm-hmm. Where we can able to have set up our small office, and we can appoint a director, and we can buy a small share, even small share, and then we started using our skill. Mm-hmm. This is all about knowledge and sourcing the right product and skill.
So how, I mean, let's understand this, because after 97, isn't it, UK have given Hong Kong back to China after 100 years. Yeah. Is business and trade commerce is similar? I mean, in terms of the liberal policies continues, or is it quite tighter now, or is it the same? Because I think the time you were in business is when Hong Kong was under the United Kingdom. Is that correct?
Yes, this is, I mean, for ourselves, we are small SME, small mm-hmm. and medium enterprises. Mm-hmm. So we didn't really find difficulties, because mm-hmm. We are exporters from Hong Kong, and of course we do interport trade, buying from one city to one port to the other port. Example, we are main suppliers of garlic from Hong Kong.
Well, let's understand this interport trading business.
Yeah.
What it entails. Interport trading is between different ports, is it?
Different ports, sourcing, shipping, and of course FOB, or maybe free on board, mm-hmm. or free on truck, free mm-hmm. on train. Mm-hmm. One port to the other port. We don't get involved any clearance on the other side of it, but we act as a logistic, mainly for logistic. Sourcing, mm-hmm. executing the order, executing the order whatever placed. So it's for like a buying office, like sourcing and get the right price and the right product with the quality and the time that we need to trade on time.
Mhm. I mean, to try to understand, when we had this conversation before, you chose some day-to-day producers, which is like, commonly used in certain part of the world,
Yeah.
and you were mentioning about garlic and ginger and
Yeah.
potatoes.
Potatoes, and also beans,
Beans.
and also coriander, peas, chickpeas.
So-
We buy from different countries.
Right, so that's mounting a large-scale purchasing, I would actually, imagine. So just to give some, information, like, so let's say garlic, like annually, like what would be the?
Yeah, around 1,000 metric tons
Mhm.
garlic, and of course its life expectancy, transport time. If you open one container, one side, it's
Mhm.
7 days. We can keep it in the transport. I mean, on stock in transit.
Mhm.
We can keep it for 7 days with the hot weather and things like that.
Mhm.
Or otherwise, we may have to use refrigerator containers if
Mhm.
it is over 7 days.
Mhm.
Well, it's very perishable. That's what I'm saying. The timing is very important.
Mhm.
If anything goes, it's unforeseen, anything happen,
Mhm.
it is very huge loss. But we got to be very careful. It doesn't mean we need to get into a trade. Once you get to know, it's very straightforward.
Mhm.
It's not a problem.
So it's something that you would advise to any entrepreneurs who wanted to start. It's quite easy, because you were suggesting that Hong Kong is the best place to actually start these kind of businesses, because it's kind of the gateway or hub between China and the rest of the world. So also you were talking about this sourcing, and in that business, I think it's very important. I think consumer choice or consumer awareness. They will be interested to know where the products originates, because when you do port to port, do you really know where is it coming from, or you just ship the commodities just from one port to another port?
No, that's a very good question. This is called, what we call is origin, certificate of origin we need to obtain before we export,
Mhm.
or even transshipment product,
Mhm.
which is called rule of origin.
Mhm.
This rule of origin is applicable for different reason. One, there is a product they want to have a duty in certain countries when they import, as well as there's empty dumping charges that people, it's like example in China produce more product and they can come and sell it cheaper here.
Mhm.
So in order to have some sort of regulations, they need to know where the origins has come from. And also there are general system of preference. Some countries, they have some preference to deal with some countries.
So this is, you are talking in the context of European Union having these general systems of preferential. That's the GSP,
Yeah.
GSP plus. Okay.
So GSP is normally if the countries have, the vulnerable countries, maybe it has been graded by WTO, they may have some chances to sell certain countries like Europe duty-free product. So that is giving opportunity for those countries for a workforce to have a better working environment. And in order to comply that, there is a lot of conventions and treaties has been placed in certain part of, in the international trade. So,
it's important for various aspects, the origin, the certificate of origin, because when you look at whether it's a fair trade product,
yeah.
or whether it's these origins actually meets ratified treaties, because I'm sure that's something that you will be aware as well when you go on trade delegations, because you said you visited twice to Sri Lanka on a trade mission.
Yeah.
So what was the mission is about, and when was this?
2004 we went to find some opportunities in Sri Lanka to set up a buying office.
So this is part of the British Chamber of Commerce.
British Chamber of Commerce, because it's India. Sri Lanka is a gateway to India.
Mm-hmm.
So they have some FTAs, free trade agreements, which is called Indo-Sri Lankan free trade agreement. Similarly, they have some Indo-Pakistan Sri Lankan agreement. So using those, that we can, if we have the office in Sri Lanka, we can able to use as a springboard as Sri Lanka to go to India. So while we were there, we had some, we had a good, it's a good place, and people have enough skill, and literacy rate is high. But of course, as we know, that there was uncertainty related to the political problem was there at that time. And
I think it's still there in terms of political uncertainty and in terms of trade stability, because they will be looking at the stability of the state, isn't it, in terms of investment?
Yeah, that was pointed out to the Sri Lankan Board of Investment. That
By the delegation?
By the delegation, especially the judiciary system, expatriate profit from there to expatriation profit, nervous taxation, and bureaucracy.
So excessive bureaucracy.
Excessive bureaucracy and corruption.
Obviously.
So
So these are the kind of outcomes or findings that your delegation
Yeah.
found, and then they didn't go ahead with that mission.
in between that, there was a tsunami came. Saying now we need to go there to find fact finding, to have any solution that we could able to bring the certainty to the country, and to have a private investment in North and East, especially. Otherwise, because that time the ceasefire was in place and it was going pretty well, but then we were trying to work as a business community. We were trying to be more fair, fairly we can able to do some business.
Yeah, so definitely I think this is your past experience you're talking about. In the conversation we will have someone talking about the recent issues and recent trade, what's happening. So we can move on with that experience and with your experience in Hong Kong, and also just coming back to this international trade and international business. So can we actually understand, if you actually invest and start a company, and how do they really operate in terms of, let's get some figures, let's understand. So when did you start, what was your kind of turnover, and how long it actually took you to reach a considerable turnover, which you'd actually consider as a serious business? Because I think the margin is very low in main producers, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the commodity producers.
This is the first thing. It's your skill is investment, as what the parents have given to you, and education and so on, and where do you live, and surrounding and connections. So that which is very important. I mean, not that, and other than that is a skill that we need to work very hard, and positiveness, and we could able to do the things in the global world. So the confidence is very important, which is of course is sometime impeded. Sometime we can work with some associates, we can get that through. As an investment, as a finance, as a money wise, well, we borrowed money initially. I remember around 20,000 US dollars from my employer, because we got the LC, which is worth for 70,000 US dollars. Then we went to the bank and they said, no, we cannot able to finance because you don't have anything, unless only you have a trouser and t-shirt and shoe, that there is no value. But we know you, but whatever it is, bring some money.
Right.
Then only we can able to open a LC. We don't call it back-to-back LC. Back-to-back LC mean, back-to-back LC. Keep one LC and they need to open a LC to the supplier.
Right.
Because the buyer will open a LC for you, letter of credit, and that based on the letter of credit, we open a other letter of credit to buy supplier. In the meantime, that is treated as two different documents. So this only main people that who involve in this in between, it's a bank. So bank will not open anything unless otherwise they know you as
That's
usual.
Right. So you borrowed money.
Money and we deposit and open it. Then of course from that, then they see the money coming in. Then bank, okay, that's fine. Then keep on. We were working with the bank, and we more like surrender ourselves into the bank for some time. Then when they say okay, their business is running around, then we had improved our relationship and also the turnover as well as the profit. And day comes, we given our profit and loss account. Then we ask bank what we want, not what they want.
So what was your kind of the start? When you said you started in, I think, to 90, no, it was around 93, isn't it? 93, 94?
Yeah.
Yeah, 93, 94. So when you started, what was your kind of a turnover then, in terms of interport trading?
For the period of time, for a 1.5 year period, 2 million. It's reached 2 million.
2 million US.
Yeah. Then with the 7 years time, when gradually is increased, when I come back here, it's around 40 million US dollars.
So that's the turnover, because obviously in commodities the margins are very low.
Very low, yeah. It's perishable. It's low margin, but of course it's again it's a food item. It's more like a service.
So it is interesting. You have actually emphasized the fact twice that it's perishable and it's the lifetime of that produce.
Yes.
Because then risks involved.
Yeah.
Because if you are exporting to certain areas where transportation or maybe it's going to be held in some
Customs
different,
or
yeah, whatever it is.
documentation.
So how do you cover those? Because because in large sums like this, you're talking about 100,000, 200,000. Or even millions, like in terms of US dollars of exports, if time is a crucial factor. So how do you protect yourself?
We have to insure. So insurance is marine insurance. Then we find it difficult sometime with Sri Lanka because the insurance what we obtain from some insurer company, that is only certain goods, certain time, certain reason it will cover. Because of the war zone, the the conflict in the country. The export credit system was not accepted.
Then when you were doing this?
Yes, because those companies was not, now in a Hong Kong company, if in UK, one supplier in UK, if they want to obtain insurance in Hong Kong company, it is straightforward, it's easy. Now if I want to find whether my buyer reliable or my supplier is reliable in where the conflict and the problem, and that insurance is not covered. So it is more our business was on trust basis. We found it, some or other we managed it with our associates, alliance in wherever the country we do business. But that is not the way of doing business. Business should be, if it is strengthen the business, if the quality of business, if we want to be leaders in the market, of course we need to have a stable country and good policy for the business policies and transparency, fair partnership.
Let's go back to your inspirations of this, because after that you joined largest retailer in the UK, and you're settled in the UK mostly. And if you were to do this again, if you were to do so, will you choose Hong Kong, or will you have any other emerging markets in international sectors? Because I think the times and the climate is different to when you started in terms of Hong Kong. So is it the same you're looking at now, or will you start somewhere else? Because with your experience in the retail market in the UK, because that brings a wealth of information, isn't it?
Yes. Now, see, the business we can start if you have if you understand the business culture, and if you can provide a correct quality and confident and trust to the market, I think we can start anywhere business. That's not a problem. But for myself, I like Hong Kong, so I don't mind starting back. I mean, go back and join someone, or maybe starting up the same the business. Well, I have no reservation at the moment for anything. I mean, I'm a very open, hands-on person. I'm moving from wholesale to retail. It was challenging, but we made it success. I had a small store, news agent. We were very successfully running the store, and then of course I sold it because we want to move into something else to explore the large organization and how they work. So that which I worked in the retailer, we just learn a lot. We need to learn a lot. Of course, I've gone through a lot of process, and I think I like to look back my trade again.
Which is interesting, because we will talk about this retailer in soon, because in another conversation, because that will give us more understanding into the retail market of the UK, because it's quite competitive with the big chain stores and so on. But let's actually move on to something that you're passionate about, religion. Because audience might think you're talking about international trade and we're jumping to religion, because I have actually seen you quite an advocate about a change in religion, because as in this program we talk about social issues as well as economy, business. So it's because I've known about your activities on it. What is your passion towards religion, and what are you trying to change?
No, as a religion or faith, religiously mean you do something continuously. So that is one thing. And someone have some faith where they have, this is what is happening. So of course, as we talk about origin, I don't want to, so I keep myself as where the origin has come from. Yes, we call Saivite ourselves, and we speak Tamil language. So I propose, or maybe I would like to see that the language is used in our praying, which is very, very important for this the business as well as for the culture, the society, cultural as a community. And of course, once we come into the spiritualism, that is, all religion is one. That is, we accept Sarva Dharma, the all Aram. It's faith is everything is same. So of course, when we look at movements of people, goods and services, and exchange of services, we may need to have some benchmark where we need to have some sort of the flagship where we can lighthouse, where's the pointer, where we are going, get the right direction.
Yeah.
So that what I will still keep on advising, or maybe possible if we can able to do our puja in Tamil in temples and Kovil. That will be very welcome.
Thank you very much for your time on that side. So in general, and a concluding remark, what will you actually say to the youngsters who are watching this program, if they wanted to start an interport trading business, where they should start and how, in a very quick summary, because we're running out of time.
Yeah, start reading and may understand more, don't overbuy, keep secured, plan yourself, have a good connections, speak to the experts, think about it, plan. That's all about planning and action.
So thank you very much for watching this program. The conversation continues. We have explored about just to understand how interport trading could work in Hong Kong base. And if you want to send any information, or if you wanted to contact Mr. Jagadiswaran, you can contact us through conversationtv@gmail.com. It's one word, conversationtv@gmail.com. Thank you very much. Goodbye.